Hello and welcome to another edition of Connect with 50-Second IFFI. I'm Rukma with you, and over the next half hour I'll be bringing to you all the highlights and the updates as they happened here at Goa on day 5 at the International Film Festival of India. While screenings galore continued on one side, there were masterclasses and in-conversation sessions on the other. Red carpet appearances by filmmakers, directors and screenwriters themselves as their films were screened in world or Asian premieres. So we'll be bringing you all that news and much more. Join me as I take you on this journey. The 52nd edition saw the screening of Rhino or Rhino from Ukraine. We spoke to the director and a crew member who told us all about the movie, that it was a search for redemption of a long-time criminal based on the life of an actual person whom the director counted as one of his friends. Take a look. I'm with the director and writer of Ukrainian feature film Rhino, a very interesting title. And let's talk to him as well as his crew member who's also joined us about his film, about the vision behind it, what he wants to say, and much, much more. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Tell us about Rhino. What does it mean? As far as we know, it's a one-horned animal which is found only in India and Africa.
Hello, I'm pleased to be here in India. It's my first time. I'm first time in the Indian festival. I'm very impressed because of a huge festival, very big people, very wide. These scripts and films from each point of this world, and it's very interesting. And the film Rhino is not from about Africa. It's not about not about animal, but it's about human who live as animal. It's about a criminal guy. He's called Rhino because he's very tough and very straight and very powerful and don't think about others. It's about gangsters' time in Ukraine when in 90s years where USSR, a huge totalitarian country, was collapsed. After that, new government was sick and new, and power in the street was taken by these tough guys, these Rhinos. And not only about this criminal drama, it's more deepest story about soul of Rhino, about his thoughts, and about his fate and fate of my country.
All right. So when we talk about a criminal, is it based on a real person? Is it a retelling of a real story?
Yeah, in core of this history of the script is a story of my close friend who lived very different lives. And I know him by one side, and we talking closer, and I known him from deepest side, about his soul, about his what did he think about his not good things, what he did in previous life, about his relation with his family, relation with his friends. Huge of them was died because it was very tough and violent times, and it was important for me. I said for myself, I want to shoot about this film because we know this guy from outside. We don't know anything about inside these guys, because it is not good guys. It's real bad guys. He do bad things, but we don't know why he do it.
You would put your film in which genre? Is it action? Is it drama?
Is a criminal drama in the script is this core, but inside this history I show soul of this guy. How did he feel? How did he think? What he have his sin and his pain. And in Huge is a film about country time. The country time, because this time changed us too, because the times now has ended 20 years ago, but some things continue doing in our inside, in our mentions, in our connection is not good, because Ukraine is a country who's step on democratic way and going to United Nations, but we have very big problems. One of both of these problems has a root in 90s.
Yeah. And when we talk about the message in your film, what is the message that you want the people to understand?
Yes, with this film, too much levels of core. And in this film, too much level to show the different people, different things. Because if oldest ages people in Ukraine, he watches him say, "Oh, it's more about my earth. Oh, I know it's I have the same clothes. I have the same dancing. I hear the same music." If he new generation, he didn't know anything about these times, and he or she or they knows about these times only this romantic style. Oh, this guy's a romantic thing. No, it's this one of goal of my film was show unromantic style of this time, because it was very tough, very hard, and violence, connection, direction, and people dying, people fighting and killing each other. It's very bad things. It's for new generation of Ukrainians, boys in the first show. Oh, it's not good way, because in this way you will live too short, too sparkle, and too bad life, and ending was very bad.
Many thanks for speaking with us on DD India, and we wish you all the best, and for not just for the screening of your film Rhino, I think the pronunciation is, not just for the screening of Rhino, but for all your future endeavors.
Thank you very much.
Ленин, блядь. Пацани, це не тільки кулаки до пушки. Це ще й...
Ти хоч мився після своїх сучок?
Скажи, що мені робити?
І перестав відчувати свою людину. Я наче...
Teen Adhyay, or 3 chapters, talking about the circle of life and how nature, in the worst moments of us human beings' lives, can be the best teacher. As it happened during the time of the lockdown, when each of us was isolated and had to learn from our surroundings. We caught up with the director and the producer. I'm with the producer and director of non-feature film in the 52nd edition of the International Film Festival of India. The name of the film is Teen Adhyay. So let's get to know more about what the film is about and their experience of filming it here, of screening it here rather, at the International Film Festival of India. Well, tell us first about yourself.
Hi, I'm Suvirnath. I'm the producer of this film, Teen Adhyay. Coming to IFFI is a privilege in itself, and I have to be very candid that I cannot explain this entire experience in any words possible, because I'm kind of profounded by the kind of response that I'm getting, and to be able to come to this platform and showcase the film is itself a dream come true. So it's a moment of my life, that's it.
Well, he says it's a moment of his life. What about you? You're the director of the film. Tell us what we can expect.
It is really, really privileged. One day you are just seeing where you were watching the film, a different filmmakers' film, and you're growing up, and suddenly you're realizing that your film is there, people are watching your film, and people are going to grow up your film. And thank you very much, IFFI, for this platform, the kind of.
So it has a message of positivity. It has, it's also about the circle of life and how nature at the worst of times can be our best teacher. Am I right?
Exactly, exactly. One inspiration behind making the film was that everybody was taking this entire calamity of Corona in a very negative connotation. And what we believe that like any phase, this has to be a phase which will end. In its intense darkness, we have to realize that there is an end to night. So we tried to take another take on Corona, that like the director of the film Subhash Sahu sir said, like any cycle of Vipatti Utpatti, calamity and resurgence, this calamity will finish, and that's what we tried to bring through this film as a positive message, that please don't lose your heart. Even in your most insipid moment, even in your most downgrading moment, you will have some bit of resurgence and you will come back again.
Well, many thanks, Subir ji, and also Subhash Sahu for joining us here on DD India and telling us about your film. It's a non-feature film. We wish you all the best, not just for the 52nd edition of IFFI, but for all your future endeavors. Many thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Wait.
Tiffin, a Gujarati film that was released during the occasion of the 52nd edition of IFFI, signaling in many ways a resurgence of Gujarati films. Or can we say it's a renaissance? The film explores the role of a mother, the role of a woman, in fact, of every woman in the home who is as much neglected as she is wanted and needed. It's a wonderful evening here at the International Film Festival of India and its 52nd edition. Films are being screened everywhere. Many of them are debut directors, others seasoned filmmakers, and many gracing the red carpet. We caught up with one of the directors whose films are being screened here at the 52nd IFFI. It's a Gujarati film that's called 21st Tiffin.
ના યક્ષના કોઈ સમાચાર છે વાદળ ને વાદળનો ઘેરો વિસ્તાર.
So what is the film all about? Let's speak to him to find out more. Well, the title says 21st Tiffin. What does it mean?
21st Tiffin, actually it's about a lady actually, and we call in Gujarati it's 21 Tiffin. In Hindi 21 Tiffin. So this is 21st Tiffin, after 20. The story is about a lady. Actually, the whole story is based on a piece of literature and a short story collection called Mahotu. Mahotu means filthy rag, ganda kapda. So it's a short story collection by Ram Mori, the youngest Gujarati writer Ram Mori, and he got Sahitya Akademi Puraskar at the age of 24 for this collection, and this is the second story of that collection. 21st Tiffin, 21 Tiffin, it's all about a journey of women actually, and see, language is Gujarati, but the appeal is global actually. It is the story of every woman of that age group, and more about I would like to add one thing. Actually, yesterday some people asked me one common question about a champa flower in that in the film. Actually, we used that metaphor because in our societies, in front of in our veranda, in front of our house, there are many trees, but there is a specially champa tree usually there. We always notice rose, but we don't notice Champa. And see, there is analogy between, I mean, with that lady. We in our house, our mother, our wife, they are doing lots of things for us, but we didn't notice them. We didn't bother to thank them. And if they are not there, then we realize something is missing. So it's all about a mother, a daughter, and a wife. So she played all role very well, but she's not playing the role of herself. So the story is all about that.
Well, if I were a film viewer, why do you feel that I should be watching your film? Why would I select your film to watch? Because the message I get from it is that we don't really realize the value of people who care for us. For example, a mother or a sister who's at home doing the cooking, you know. So what would you say is the most interesting thing about your film?
Actually, most interesting thing about a film and why you should watch the film, because it is about you. And you feel witness of the story, and you will not able to see it objectively when you are in front of the screen, because see, emotions are very simple, very normal. There is nothing big, nothing new in the film, nothing new happens in the films, but those emotions, those very emotions are actually very personal emotions. So everyone felt those emotions. So I think this is a different kind of soothing journey for those ladies. So who actually in one word I can say that those ladies who are not watching Mirror, they can watch the film.
So many thanks for joining us here on DD India. We wish you all the best. And of course, the jury, even as we speak, may be watching your film, and also for your future endeavors. Many thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you so much.
This vast land of India, home to so many cultures, traditions and practices, many of them fading away. Their practitioners either on the brink of starvation or turning to other paths in life. Dollo is a film from Karnataka that takes a look at these very aspects of an ancient ritualistic dance that is practiced in Karnataka. Take a look. I am with Sagar Puranik, the very young director of the film Dollu in the Kannada language. It's a film that's vying for the top prize and is based on an ancient folk dance form of the state of Karnataka. But what is it really about? How can a feature film be made on a folk dance form? Let's find out from the man himself. Well, Sagar, you're in the competition for best debut feature film, but is this really your debut, or have you been making feature films before this? Tell us what the journey has been like so far.
Dollu is a film on how urbanization affects indigenous folk art forms. This film is on Dollu Kunita. So Dollu Kunita is a age-old tradition in Karnataka. It's an indigenous art form. It originated from Karnataka. It's an art form where 8 to 10 people in a group, they tie heavy drums around their waist and dance along with it in a synchronized manner. It's a very difficult art form. The drums are heavy. It's a very vibrant art form. The performers wear bright yellow costumes and they have jingles all over their body. It's a great visual and audio treat. This film originated because I was once at a government event. So basically, Dollu Kunita performances happen at the beginning of any big event or function in Karnataka.
So how do you make a film? How do you compose a film around a folk dance form? Do you use real characters? Are they real dancers, or is there a lot of role playing? Are you talking about their families? Are you talking about the sadness of a dying art form? Give us more of a sense of the narrative techniques that you've used.
Dollu was a beautiful journey for us, for the entire team, cast and crew. Firstly, there are about 8 boys performing the Dollu Kunita dance. 6 of them are professional Dollu Kunita dancers. They are national level performers. These dancers were given acting lessons, thorough acting classes for a month and a half. and I had two professional actors, train in this art performance for a month and a half, extensive practice, rigorous practice for 2-3 hours every day. I just mentioned earlier, I'm sure they hate me by now, but I'm glad. I know for a fact that they'll watch themselves on screen and they'll know what this effort meant to me. And this is with respect to how I got actors and dancers to learn each other's talents. With respect to the technicalities involved in this film, what I have done is I've challenged myself and my team. For example, my DOP, we've decided that we're going to use progressive lensing throughout the film. As the story progresses, the lensing progresses. All those shots are in wide lenses till the pre-climax. And only once the story starts getting more narrow, the lensing also gets narrow. Then I get to a 50 in the pre-climax, and then I use a tele in the climax. So, you feel that the story is narrowing down. This is with respect to camera work, and with screenplay. What we've done is we've used a point of view technique where only what the protagonist can hear or see, only those visuals are seen on screen. It was a conscious risk because there are no subplots, there are no extra reactions. Apart from the B-rolls, everything is shot in his perspective. So these are a few challenges that I put on the team.
What about, filmmakers? Do they really make a distinction between an OTT screen and the big screen? Or do they just want to connect with their audience? What do you think as a director? Do you just want to connect with your audience around the world? It doesn't really matter how?
I think the primary intention of a film is to either entertain or engage. During these unfortunate years of the lockdown, COVID lockdowns, what kept us a little happy or little going was these films on OTT platforms. There were no society gatherings, there was nothing. So it was just these OTT platforms. So I think the idea is to tell a story, and depending upon the monies you have spent on it and the target audience, I think a film can be made. And I don't think OTTs I never think OTTs can replace films. Or theaters, basically. Theaters have their own experiences and nothing can replace that. Of course, OTT gives a platform for young filmmakers. Not only OTTs, even YouTube can be a great platform. Someone can shoot a film in his phone and put it out for public to watch it. So I think digital India is great, and I'm sure people are utilizing it to the utmost extent.
And when we talk about, a film with a message, as opposed to just art for art's sake, what would you choose?
Again, see, I think a film has to balance a lot of things. It also has to balance finances. When there is a lot of money riding, I can't do a film however I want to do it. I have to do a film what the audience would want to watch, because they have to pay for the film or subscribe to the film. That is how I can make my producer safe. So if your intention is to make money, if you're investing a lot of money, you have to get it back, and you make a film for that. So, but I believe that you should make a film from your heart. That is what I firmly believe in.
And when you talk about, for example, is content more important? Or is technique more important? Can we have films only on content? That make a difference based only on content?
Again, it's all up to the intentions of the filmmaker. I mean, everybody has their own intentions, their agendas. Someone wants to make money out of a film. Someone wants to convey a message out of a film. I think it's very perspective, very individualistic. I can't comment on that. I can just say about what I want to do personally. So my film talks about how art has no rules, is what I try to convey. So my basic message is that art has no rules. In fact, the film talks about how the protagonist, when he tries to get the team back, and if they do or don't come back, what he does next. Does he break traditions? We are in a progressive society, and I think we can evolve along with times. So it does not have to have any message. It can just be pure storytelling.
Yes. Pure storytelling. In many ways, that's what we look at films for, to relax and enjoy. Many thanks to you, Sagar, for joining us here on DD India, and we wish you all the very best. Day 5 at IFFI, as I was telling you, was packed with events. We bring you some more highlights from the 52nd edition of Asia's oldest and most prestigious film festival. Well, that's all we have for you in this edition of Connect with 52nd IFFI. We hope you enjoyed our show. We'll be back again every day with more highlights and updates from the 52nd edition of the International Film Festival of India, being held at Goa. Till then, goodbye and take care.